Our guest, Jess, is about 6, 7 years old, about 7 years, but was associated with the congregation before then as well. This is Ryan Lamb. Ryan?
Good morning. Been here about, I think, 3 or 4 years. Yep.
Yeah. So first off, I have a big thank you for each and every one of you here, okay? So part of our budget that we get for missions is a travel budget. Where do we get the money for our travel budget? You. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We were able to go across the country, and we're going to share this with you. It's just going to be very informal, clicking through some slides, showing you some things, and hopefully have some time for some question and answer afterwards as well. But thank you for what you do. You start us off in prayer?
Yep.
Go for it.
Bow with me, please. Father God, we thank you for the day. We thank you for being able to gather here and worship this morning, Lord. Thank you for the folks that are here. Thank you for the opportunity to just get up here and talk about India and the brothers and sisters over there and what you're doing. God, just watch over us and guide us. Amen.
Amen. Okay, as if you can see up here, I had no clue what we were about to take on at this point in time. So this is us in Dallas. By the way, can everybody hear? Is this okay? Okay. This is us in Dallas. We're all meeting together. You'll see there's some not familiar faces and some familiar faces, okay? We have Lincoln.
Cameroon.
Yes, he was from Cameroon,
originally,
but
from Broken Arrow now.
Yeah, Broken Arrow Church of Christ. That's where it is. Yeah,
Keith and Cindy.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
So, and of course, you know.
And then Bill with the wild eyes there.
He found something he's locked in on in that photo. So this is our first time, Ryan and I, about a little backstory on us. Been best friends for 35 years.
35 years.
35. Yeah, we started T-ball together. So this was pre-kindergarten, all right? So we go back a way back. I never imagined that I'd be traveling all the way across the world with my best friend. So again, thank you for that. That's something I get a chance to carry to the grave. So anything else?
Nope. I'll stop you.
All right. If you've never traveled with Bill before, don't ever let him do the itinerary, okay? Don't do it. So after a 24-hour flight, you get a chance to go and rest in the hotel for
Wasn't very long. We had enough time to go down to the river.
We had an hour. So, I mean, this is after a 24-hour flight. We just kind of basically said, well, it's time to go to work. So we had a little bit. You notice the guy in the background right here? That right there is a pretty common sight. He's a Hindu man. Hindu. So just
couldn't see them here, but just to the left, there was a ton of people that were down in the river.
Yeah. Pretty dirty, nasty
Pretty dirty.
water, stuff floating in it, but that's where they'll go and they would do their bathing and stuff. If you didn't know, there is, and I'll mention this several times, there's 1.5 billion people. I was corrected while I was preaching by Brother V. I said there was 1 billion. He's like, no, brother. 1.5 billion.
That's right.
3% Christian?
3% Christian.
Probably about the same Muslim, roughly. The rest of them, Hindu. So
1.5 billion, and we're 3 times. USA's 3 times the size of India. So just to kind of put it in context.
You'll see on the slide here a little bit of temple. But so think about driving around U.S. You know, you're driving around U.S., especially southern U.S. There's a Baptist church there, Church of Christ, Methodist. I mean, just like everywhere on every street corner, you're going to see, a Christian church building, correct?
Don't see it there.
No. We're going to see Hindu
Not
temples.
there.
And Ryan will have probably some more insight on it because you studied the Hindu temple thing a lot more than I did. But just really kind of cool and different. So that's the Gadavra. I never can say it right.
It's
river.
huge.
It is massive river. All right. So after getting there and resting for an hour, it was time to go to the hospital. Now, the hospital is a presentation in and of itself. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because it is, we've got some great pictures, some great stories to go with it. But this is, as you can see here, we're being pretty discreet. I don't know if you see these guys right here. They had our pictures up and our names and stuff out there. So, I don't know if they'll ever let us come back to India after this. But
and just to touch on this hospital, that is the most beautiful building I saw while I was there.
Oh,
everything is concrete, gray, except for a Hindu temple and this building.
Yeah.
Everything else, very plain.
Would be the only Christian Church of Christ hospital in India.
And it is directly across the street from the Kavur Church of Christ.
Yeah.
Is that the town? Yeah, Kavur.
And that's where Brother V. Does anybody remember Brother V and Dr. Raj coming? Okay. All right. So you're going to hear. We'll call him. If y'all know him as Dr. Raj, we'll keep him as Dr. Raj and then Brother V. So you'll see them later in the photo as well. All right. Inside the hospital, marble, beautiful. Marble's very.
It's everywhere there, so everything's marble.
Yeah, it's very cheap, so that's why they use marble. We would use marble in our fancy houses. They use marble because it's available. So when we got there, we got a chance to do ribbon cuttings. I didn't get a whole lot of the interior of the hospital, but anybody know this guy? Anybody know that lady? Yeah. So we got a chance to go to each, so if you see in the background it says pre-labor room. So each one of them, I mean, think about hospital. What is there in hospital? There's ER in the hospital, you know. There's labor and delivery. There's surgery. You know, there's all this stuff. We even got to see Brother V's prayer room in the hospital. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know how many hospitals have prayer rooms, but it's pretty cool, right? Which one did you cut?
Don't remember.
I think mine was a laboratory. I mean, like that. Draw
We
blood.
got to cut and pray over every room we went into.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we did.
If you see this guy right here, who looks like he's in charge, making sure that we're cutting the right, that's him. That's Brother V. He kind of runs the show a little bit.
He is in charge.
Yes. All right. This is again, all of us got a chance to pray. This is Dr. Raj behind me. If you don't remember, that's Dr. Raj, that's Brother V. Father, Son, right there. Okay. There he is. Dr. Prithvi Raj. So we got a chance. He actually checked my blood pressure while I was there. So I did undergo medical, examination while I was in the hospital. So he checked my blood pressure. Just a cool deal. His wife, Priyanka, does the labor and delivery. Okay. This past week, first baby delivered in the hospital. Praise God, right? Hey, by the way, do you know the equipment that they used to deliver the baby and where it came from? U.S. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I just want to go back on the hospital just a second. So the hospital, right there everywhere here, medical facilities, ER facilities, anywhere in Texas County you can find somewhere. There it's very uncommon. And, you hear more is caught than taught. In this place, maybe they're not preaching book, chapter, and verse, but they're going to catch the love of Jesus because that's what these folks are doing right here. It's directly across the street from the church. Brother V, preacher, he's going to be in there all the time. So just know, yes, it's a facility that's giving medical care, but those folks are hearing about Jesus.
It's a mission hospital, is what it
Yep.
is, basically. All right. So to get you kind of, you're going to see hospital, you're going to see churches, you're going to see children's home, you're going to see individuals. This was a crash course in India in a 5-day. Because you got to think, we're going 7. 2 of that was literally sitting in an airplane. The other 5 was getting in at midnight, 1 o'clock. Don't ever travel with Bill unless you're, ready to go. You see, that this is how they welcomed us. This was at the children's home that afternoon, right?
Yes, the children's home. The kids are lined up. They've got flyers. They're honoring us as best they know how. And it's, what is that, 75? About 75 kids at that children's home, Bill? Yeah, roughly 75 orphans.
You'll be able to notice them. They'll have like the yellow polos on. So just an incredible, I would say the children's home was my favorite.
Yeah, it was probably the best part of it is those kids.
Those kids are incredible, y'all. They really, truly are.
How many of y'all knew Bill and Sharon Paxton? They had a children's home named after them.
Yeah.
That says a lot about them because I've never heard about it before.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I understand about the story, okay?
Yeah.
And we're still trying to piece all this together. You can't get a lot out of Bill sometimes, but that's okay. What year would it have been?
Would have been somewhere about 89.
Okay. Monsoon, tsunami, flood, river gets out of its banks. This little village is right on the bank of the river, okay? Massive flood. A lot of people drowned. Bill, you didn't get to go that time, did you, in 1989? So Bill got a chance to go over there, and a little bit about Hindu culture. There's no love, mercy, and grace in Hinduism. There's no mercy, none of that. Okay?
So the karma. I mean, that's
Yeah.
so. If something happened bad to you, it's because you had bad karma. In a previous life, you were not a good person. So in this life, when something happens, well, that's just your karma.
Yeah. So
Whatever
there's-
happens to you is what's going to happen. There's not anybody that's going to give you a handout.
There's no compassion there, right? Isn't that kind of wild?
There's no social programs to take care of these kids. Government's not going to take care of them. If they don't eat, they will starve.
You messed up in a former life, and that's why you're now an orphan or a widow. Okay? Now again, 1.5 billion people, okay? 1.5 billion people, 3% are Christian. The other maybe 3% maybe are Muslim. The rest of them, this is how they were born and raised. This is in their society. This is who they are, okay? So I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I'm trying to show you that it's completely different. They don't, if you don't know, you don't know. That's why we got really excited about telling about the love and mercy of Jesus Christ. Now, you tell me if you're a widow or an orphan, and then all of a sudden you start hearing about love, mercy, grace, or even if you're not, maybe you're just a lower caste, if you're a lower caste. So they have different caste systems there, okay? You're upper caste or lower caste. You're either born into it or you're not, okay? I got a chance to take a picture with the boys.
He really is that short.
I really am that short right there. I think Ryan said something about the Leprechaun Day tomorrow.
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
March.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
This might be the only leprechaun y'all see over the next couple of days, but the boys are incredible. Man, I can't say enough about that. That was, you'll never be the same once you see that. Oh, by the way, if you notice, we all look all hot and sweaty. It's because we are.
It's winter time there, and I think it was mid-90s.
Yeah.
And that's their winter.
It's
Bill said in the summertime it get to be about 120.
I love you, but I don't think I'm going to go visit them in the summertime for you, okay?
Yeah.
I'll go in the wintertime. All right? All right. I couldn't help it. She was precious. Yeah, she was just a doll. So they are, man, they dressed their little girls up. They put the little anklet things on their ankles. I mean, they're just, it's incredible.
I want to circle back around to the children's home when Bill was there. Was it 89? So he was there in 89 and had the flood. The Hindus, the elders in the Hindu culture or that area came to, were you there then? Yeah, came to Bill, Brother V, and said, hey, we need something to do with these kids. They weren't going to take care of them. So Bill came back, raised the money, built this, and started housing 75, 70, 80 kids, and they've been doing it since 89. Yeah. Just to drive the point home, the Hindus were not going to take care of these kids. They came to the Christians because they knew they would. They knew the love.
I mean,
That's what they're known by there.
Karma's the reason all those kids' parents died, right, in the flood. Why would we take care of them? Let's turn them over to the Christians, let them take care of them, right? I think we can. I think we will. We'll step up to that, right? Okay. Yeah, thank you. That was where I was going before, and I completely got derailed on that one. So that's next Sunday. That was on a Saturday. The next Sunday morning, we got a chance to go back. We did a gospel meeting that Saturday evening at the children's home after going visiting. Then we came back that Sunday morning early for the early service and had a worship service there. And I didn't get a picture of it. I took a lot more videos and pictures. You want to talk about the offering at the children's home that Sunday morning?
Yeah.
That one was.
So the next morning was Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We got to go to the children's home there. They have a church building right across the street from the orphanage. So, typical worship service, take communion, preach, singing. At the end of it, there's this stainless steel container over right beside the pulpit. And we noticed that the kids were bringing up rice to dump in there. And we're all, trying to figure out what's going on. And Bill, I think, somebody leans over and says, they're taking up a collection for the widows. Right, when you read Acts, we hear about, we're going through it in Bible class right now. taking care of the widows and how that was supposed to be a responsibility. We don't see it much here anymore because, we have so many social programs that take care of people. These kids were bringing up the excess rice to put into this bucket so that the widows could come and draw out enough rice so they can make it through the week and have something to eat.
By the way, do you know what kind of pairs good with the orphans and the widows not being really taken care of? Children's home. Widows kind of get a chance to stay there. Their job's to take care of the orphans, right?
Yep.
Almost like Jesus can cover that too, right?
Yeah. So, with the widows, when a husband dies and the widow is left, it's assumed that she had bad karma. So the son, when he inherits the estate, can kick his mother out, and she can be on the street with nothing. So that's why the church has such a profound impact into those people's lives, because nobody else is showing them love and grace. It's just the church. So they will work at the church, they'll sleep at the church, they'll eat there.
Can anybody see how the love, mercy, and grace of Jesus Christ would be attractive in that culture? I think so too. So we went to worship that morning, and when we go into all these congregations, you better come ready to preach. That's all it is to it. I mean, you sit there, and at any point in time, Brother V's going to say, Ryan Lamb.
They'll go for hours, like
Word?
you'll preach, and then just somebody else will come up and preach, and they just want everybody there to preach.
I think this is the only place that I don't remember preaching here at Covert. I think this is the one where Bill kind of got that one. This is Brother V's home church. This is actually literally under his, in his basement right there. So, but yeah, most of the times when we went to the church, you better have some kind of something to say. Brother Cole? Okay, you get up there and start preaching,
And the translators are really good, because I'm a terrible preacher, but these guys, you pick the right translator. When you're in a foreign country with a foreign language, good translator will make you a pretty good preacher.
They can spice it up for you just a little bit.
They could. You would say a few words, and they would carry it on for 30 seconds, and you would realize that I didn't do a very good job. He's driving the point home with those people.
I took a picture of this. This is in Brother V's congregation there. That writing is in Telugu, but we all know what it means, don't we? Okay, I want to tell you something. Those people over there have got the Holy Spirit. They're dialed in. They love Jesus. They're preaching and teaching to anyone that they can. It's incredible. Their faith is unreal over there. It really and truly blew me away. I was so encouraged by, you can go all the way across the world over there and find people that love Jesus just like you love Jesus. It's incredible. Ryan, why are you not wearing shoes in that picture?
Well, Brother V's got them on now that I see it, but it's the cultural norm just to take shoes off when you walk in.
Yeah.
And again, you see the marble. Every building over there has the most beautiful marble you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. So this is one of the chances that Ryan got. So a lot of this stuff's going to be from my perspective, because I had the majority of the pictures on my phone. I put together a slideshow. So I got a chance to, you're seeing a lot of my perspective while I was there. Okay?
Again,
So
no air conditioner. 95 degrees just a little while ago. It's hot.
It's hot. But you can see, and the kids, whenever you're preaching, they're sitting down here like at the front, and they're all sitting there. And you know what they're doing? They are dialed in. They are listening. They're well behaved. The children just blew my mind. His name, brother?
That's Brother V's
brother-in-law.
brother-in-law.
Oh, yeah, it's his brother-in-law.
Robbie.
Yeah,
Robbie.
Robbie Kumar. Okay.
Right.
You'll see this young lady, I think right there is her. You'll see her later. She went and changed, but that was our first baptism of the trip. Got a chance to preach and teach there. Again, I think it was 8 congregations that we went to. And I'm not even going to try to explain all the names and where they were located. Brother V and Bill told us this, like, hey, where are we going? Such and such village. All right, how far is it? Not far.
Not far, brother.
A couple hours later on that bus that we were in, we got there. And the driving was crazy.
And whenever we would be on the way, you wouldn't really know when you were getting close until you started hearing them sing as loud as they can possibly sing. So they would have the speakers there as you could see them. They would also have them outside. So the way that they broadcast the message is they play it as loud as the volume dial will go. And you'll hear them in the vehicle coming towards them, I don't know, felt like a half a mile away. and you know what they're doing. They're worshiping, waiting on us to get there to preach.
If loud is good,
Louder's better.
that's
Kind of the way they operate.
That was
there.
the operation. If loud is
Yep.
good, louder is better. There was a couple of times, and Bapuji, we'll show you him. There's a couple of times his voice was piercing. I mean, I literally, because the speakers are right here, and I was like, oh goodness, but it was great. They just broadcast it.
The whole town hears it when they're having the service. The entire town hears it.
From singing to preaching to everything. They were probably wondering, what are the rednecks from Texas doing over there? Next slide. I think my battery might have died. I think I did. I did drop it a while ago. Oh, there we go. All right. Sweetie. That's the only one that I can remember her name.
the only one I remember.
That was, we could not do any baptizing while we were there.
It's illegal.
Yeah, cool. I don't have to baptize anybody. We'll preach Jesus and move on. But we're going to let them do that. The Hindus didn't like that. So when you go over there to India, you're not going as a missionary. You're going as a tourist. That's what you're going to do. You fill out your visa. That's who you are, you know.
You can't be real vocal about what's going on there. You got to get in and go to work and just, you know, kind of. I mean, you try to fly under the radar, but not really, because we're preaching everywhere we go.
Yeah. We can't like go out. We can preach inside the buildings and stuff, but we can't go on like the street corners and preach.
Yep.
You know, they didn't. The Hindus didn't allow that. So, next slide, please. All right, there you go.
So this is a Hindu temple. I believe this is directly across from a Church of Christ. I think we'll show the slide here in a minute. We had 4 or 5 baptisms at this location. So we just thought it was really neat. So, I mean, from here, as far as from here to the back wall right there, where Mr. Lafferty's standing, that's how far we were for this Hindu temple. And we were baptizing 4 or 5 people into Christ directly across from the monkey god. I don't know if he's got the picture, but it's a 20 or 25 foot statue of the monkey god.
I think
We're
he's in there,
which
with
is
the
a false
water
god,
buffalo.
but that's just what we call him because we kind of laugh about it.
Yeah, and you'll
But
see.
there's also, 25 other gods there, because in Hinduism, there's thousands. There's no limit to how many gods that they worship.
So think about this. Here you are in culture, and culture's telling you that karma is what what determines your success in today's living. And all you can really do is try to pick one of these guys up here and, worship that thing. Because there's they can't offer you any love, mercy, or grace. Maybe they can show you a little bit, of better favor or something. So, really, not a whole lot of hope there in Hinduism. Okay?
You can't really, maybe you can see it, but on those gates, Bill made a great point one night when he was preaching and it hit me. On those gates, there's a lock. And you think about from a Hindu perspective, they can't get in to worship their gods unless it's the time of day that the government opened those locks and allows them to go into. And he preached that, and it kind of hit me that we can get to Christ at any point, but yet the Hindus, they can't get to it because there's a lock on the gate.
Yeah.
Cannot get in there to worship their
You
gods.
don't want somebody to steal your God and run off with it.
Yeah.
Next slide, please. Here we go. Notice the lady in purple.
She was scared to death. That's a big guy right there in the white, and he
He's
was
a big
getting
guy.
ready to baptize. He started out with that little old lady right there in the purple, pink, whatever that is, and she wouldn't let him put him in the water because she was scared to death of it. She didn't.
It's the wintertime, it's cold, and I think that her, legs and stuff were so arthritic, and he kept pushing her down, and he couldn't get her pushed down. And I got a video of it, it's hilarious.
It was about a minute and a half, I think, of them trying to get.
Finally,
Everybody was laughing.
she had to go stand to the side because there was a husband and wife. You see the young people over there, the husband and wife. They got in there and they went ahead and baptized them. And then the older gentleman, it was difficult getting him down in there, but they got him baptized. And then finally, he just had to go, because she weighed what, 70, 80 pounds tops. But either she was too strong or her legs were too arthritic. He couldn't get her down. But finally, he went back. And anyways, just incredible thing there. This right here was literally right across from that big pretty temple that I showed you.
Just 50 yards across the street.
Yeah. Next slide, please. This one was fun. This was in an alleyway. We're talking about stray dogs walking by.
Yeah, and that blue tarp right there in the back is kind of where we were sitting the whole time. There were stray dogs running up and down behind us back there. It's hard to stay focused.
It was great. But again, this one was late. Late at night. It started late. And again, if loud is good, louder is better.
They had the outdoor
Everything
speaker set up.
cranked up, so all the neighbors can hear that. And again, same thing. We go up there, all 4 of us. We get a chance to preach and stuff. Next slide, please. This one's kind of blurry, but this one was John. Yeah, it was Abraham Lincoln's, and then John David.
That's right.
Yeah, I can remember this. Abraham Lincoln, he died, and then John David took over this congregation. This one was probably one of the newer, built facilities and stuff like that. That one was fun and cool. Again, same thing. Radio cranked up. Oh, one thing that I think we should probably, start next Sunday. We're going to be preaching, so y'all can start next Sunday if you want to. If you would bring me some buffalo milk coffee next Sunday, buffalo milk coffee. That's just kind of one of the things that they did for us. It was great. They're just the preacher shawls. I mean, it's just interesting. I can't explain it to you because you just have to go experience it. Okay, it's just the cultural difference. It was awesome.
Yeah, we're just giving you just a quick snapshot. We can't cover it all. There's way too much to it.
This is inside that congregation. It was 2-level. It filled up. That was early in the preaching service. Because you got to think, it broadcasts in the streets. People come from,
So
from all around.
there's no set time. They just blast the speakers. When the people hear it, they come.
Meet us down at the lobby at 9 o'clock. Well, that doesn't mean a whole lot over there. They'll show up eventually. Time-wise, it's just a different culture. Next slide, please. This was probably one of my favorite. This was out in the ag country. So a lot of y'all know I had an ag background. This was, way out in the country, rice fields all around, banana, all kinds of stuff, corn. When you got 1.5 billion people, you do ag pretty well. But you see the little flower petals and stuff. Again, this is anywhere we went. They were just so pleased that we made the trip all the way around the world to come and preach to them and worship to them. By the way, in the morning, Brian and I, we've preached once already since we've been back in India. And then we're going to speak to the children's home in the morning through social media. Okay? So even though you're talking about it's a developing country, so everybody's got cell phone. There's thousands of pictures of us floating around in India right now.
At least 10,000.
Everybody, hey, selfie please, selfie sir. And you go over there and take a picture. Everybody wanted a picture with you. But Facebook, WhatsApp, the next generation, when I talk about what the future holds for India, man, I'm excited. I'm so excited because their business language is English. And with now not only them being able to speak English very well, the next preaching generation, with this technology that they have, we can stay in touch and communicate. I've got one guy over there, his name's Samson. He wants us to preach for me every month, encourage the brethren. Okay, Samson. And he's persistent. He stays after us, so he just puts us on the schedule whenever he needs us. So, next slide, please. Just a typical family here. This was in Bapuchi's village there. Mm-hmm. I went walked up to their house and it's a father, a daughter, and then a grandfather. This one right here is Bapuchi right here behind Ryan's shoulder. You see him?
So I want to give a little, this building that we're at, Bapuchi, so this province, state, whatever you would call it, they're not allowed to baptize there. That's how real it is. It is illegal, not just for us, for them, for anybody to be baptized. So we had, I think it was 3 people there, 2, 4? I don't know. You kind of lose track because it starts stacking up pretty quick on you. 2 or 3, 4 that responded and wanted to take baptism. Well, they were kind of slow rolling it and calling out, let's go, let's get to the water. Like, no, brother, you don't understand. We literally cannot baptize. If they catch us here, we're going to jail. So we had to go somewhere else and wait till later to baptize. So I just kind of put it how real it is over there. Here, you can do whatever you want in any body of water, whenever you want. You can sprinkle them, you can whatever they want to do. There, no, it's real. They believe that the Hindus look at it, when you take baptism, you're taking on Christ. You can believe all you want. When you take the baptism, that's when it becomes serious for them.
There's Ryan, stop and smell the roses. Again, when I tell you, again, it's all from my perspective, but whenever I tell you that they just showered us, they were so happy that we were there. Why would you give, a grown man flowers? Because you traveled across the world to come preach Jesus to us. We love you and we're thankful. By the way, this building, Bill probably didn't care for me to tell you this. Cornerstone of this building right here, Bapuchi's? Yeah. Bill set that in probably what year? 1990.
Long time.
So again, all these are places that Bill had been over there years ago visiting. So this was not only for us a chance to see the children's home, the hospital, we hadn't got to yet, but the preaching school, what's going over there, but for us to see the relationships, what they've had. Next slide, please. Food. You're going to eat rice every day. There's a lot of diabetics.
Every
over there,
meal.
right? Every meal. Next slide. Corn. When I say that they can do ag, they do it well. That's on a street corner. Next slide. That is not a monkey's hand. That is my hand, okay? So they had these delicious little bananas. And I mean, I can't, describe them to you. They were just...
I don't eat bananas,
Sure.
and they were
They're
amazing.
great. All right,
it was
next
my
slide.
primary food.
Okay. People said, hey, what's the countryside look like? This is it. See how hazy it is in the background? I don't think that's the humidity. I think that might be humidity, but a lot of that might be smog as well. Typical housing there. And then as you can see, there's 1.5 billion people. If they started picking up trash tomorrow, it'd be picking up trash for a long time. Just the same thing. Next slide, please. There's the monkey god in the background. And I got a chance to pet a water buffalo. That was kind of cool. That was right across the street from where we were baptizing those folks. Next slide.
They don't drink water there unless it's out of a bottle, so to make coffee, tea, anything, it's buffalo milk, ground up coffee, and they warm it up for you.
Sharon pet the buffalo as well. Now, Bill told us the story that he had a bad encounter with buffalo. You need to ask him about that sometime. Hopefully you don't have anything in your mouth while you're eating because you'll get choked. Next slide. We got to graduate while we were there, by the way. Bill said, they're going to dress you like monkeys, and you just sit there and you smile, and go for it. So we got a chance to present their diplomas, basically, from graduating preaching school. These guys said, we're going to go to preaching school, we're going to go out after we leave this, and we're going to go start a congregation somewhere. This is the third time me and this guy got to wear a cap and gown together, right? Junior high, high school, and now preacher school graduation. Next slide. This is Samson Sampson. This is the young man I was telling you about.
Yeah, this is the guy that's kind of facilitating some meetings that we're having right now. This is the guy that's helping us, talk to the children's home Monday.
He's going to be a big player with our communication and the ministry and the work that goes on over there. He's relentless. I mean, this is who he is. I love it. Next slide. This is all the preachers right there. Isn't that crazy? Now, after this graduation, they get a chance to go out, start a congregation somewhere, and start preaching the gospel.
And it's not like here where you get something. They literally get a Bible and a songbook, and they go to the town, and then they set it. They take care of it.
Yeah. This is a little
whatever support they get from God. That's about going to be it.
This is in the little little gathering area outside the church. Next slide. All right, top, you'll see Church of Christ up there. That's up there on the top level. That's where Brother V and his entire family live up there. Okay.
This is directly across from the hospital.
Yeah, directly across from the hospital. The bottom is actually where their worship building is. Next slide. All right. Prudvi Priyanka, and I can't remember the sweet little girl's name. She was precious. This is upstairs up at Brother V's house. Next slide. This is the last day. This is us being worn, retired. We're fixing to be getting on an airplane real soon and flying all the way back around the world. Next slide. This is our truck driver. Ryan, you want this one?
Sure. So this guy drove us around, picked us up, and drove us around for 5 days. Didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to him at first, but when we first started going to these places, and I'll try to be quick, first started going to these places and preaching, he would turn the van around and wait down at the end of the alley. But by the end of the week that we were there, we noticed him starting to come up a little closer and get a little closer and get a little closer. And he was starting to really poke his head in while people were preaching. By the last day that we were there, when we were getting off the bus, you'll see that bracelet that he's got on his wrist right there. We were getting off. I've got one on mine. It's just about the gospel. As we were getting off the bus, he pointed to my bracelet and he said, gospel. So Abraham Lincoln right there, he's squatting down for that picture, I'm pretty sure. But he and I got him, went back, shared the gospel with him, and he said, I'm close, I'm close. So they're following up with him while we're there. I just want to tell that because that's the typical Hindu right there.
If you got somebody...
Once they see it, they're interested in it.
Put that guy on your prayer list.
Don't know his name. Bus driver. Pray for bus driver.
There you go. Next slide. They fed us. They were just absolutely... This is inside Brother V's house there. Brother V standing right there behind Ryan.
They fed you, and as soon as you finished, if you didn't put your hand over and say wadu, and even if you said wadu, they're going to put more rice on your plate. So you had to really watch them. They'd sneak in there and put a scoop on your plate.
The picture you sent me, it didn't come through. I know.
Yeah, there was a guy named Santi that if you turned your head, piece of chicken and a scoop of rice.
Puts food on your plate. Put food on
He
your
was
plate.
hunting somebody with an empty plate.
Yeah, I've never seen a guy with a servant's heart like Santi. I've never experienced it my entire life. It's incredible. Next slide. If you can see, we're standing on Brother V's patio right there, and behind me you can see the hospital. So when I say you can throw a baseball from where the church building is to the hospital, there's a reason why it's like that too. Again, there's a baptismal, there's a place to baptize right there at Brother V's house. So when I say this is it's a mission hospital, this is what its goal is. So next slide. There's Prude V and Priyanka and their family. He's about Jess's age, and I can't remember how old the little girl is, but she's just precious. Next slide. Again, right before we got a chance to leave, this is going to be Prude V's, Brother V's getting older. This is kind of Prude V's baby here. They borrowed a lot of money. They built a hospital. They did it on faith. Cost them about $8,500 a month to operate it. It's a charity hospital.
Yeah, charity in the true sense of a charity. If they can't pay, they don't pay. Nobody's asking for it.
So there's no really income stream there. So, next slide. This is how we felt after traveling with Bill for a week.
Preach till 1 o'clock every morning, get up early in the morning and start again.
Go back to that one slide real quick. I want to say something else about the hospital there. While we were there, the Broken Arrow Church of Christ, they take care right now currently of everything over with the children's home. They have just individuals that take care of it. There's preachers over there that for $100 a month, $100 a month, that's what they can go out, they can preach. And if you're converting widows and orphans, there's not a whole lot of income coming in. So it doesn't take very much. Anybody else have fun in the stock market last week because things were on sale and you're buying low? Yeah? You're investing, right? You take a little bit of money and it goes a long way. That whole hospital, they borrowed around $700,000 to build it. The 5 stories. So this much money goes this far over there. Been thinking and praying about it. We're going to try to hopefully have an avenue at some point in time to where if you would say, hey, I want a preacher that I want to try to support, I say, here, $100 a month. That'll get this guy set up in that village so he can go.
$100 a month pays for food, family, takes care of it, building, electricity, and whatever he's doing to share the gospel. It takes care of everything. $100 a month goes a long way.
Yeah. Next slide. Here we go. This is the end. This is after the trip. This is in Dallas. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you need to go get kids, go get kids. If you've got any questions, right now would be a great time to ask them. Because Bill's here and all that. I mean, I understand it's past time, but we're here if you need us. Anybody got any questions?
Way to go, guys.
Thank you. I'm going to let Brother Bill see if he'll come pray for us.
One of the best parts of the trip for me was watching these guys get on fire. They were doing stuff they never dreamed they would be asked to do, and just came through like champs. That was worth the trip, just to see them mature and grow. Let's pray together. Father in heaven, we thank you that you use us to do your work. We thank you that we were given this opportunity to go and encourage the brethren and preach the gospel and see people saved. Father, I'm grateful for the spiritual growth. Thank you for getting us home safe and healthy. Father, we ask you to bless this congregation and other congregations that are investing in the kingdom in India. We're grateful, Father, for these 25 souls that were baptized into Christ while we were there. We're grateful for this church and for their generosity and willingness to send. Help us, Father, to do your will on earth as it's done in heaven. In the name